AITAH for telling my husband that our marriage is over because he asked for a paternity test? Story 1. A throwaway account but need some clarity as I am massively upset. I, 52F, have been married to my husband for 24 years, together for 30 years. It hasn't always been roses, but we had a lot of fun. Yesterday we were having a Friday evening drink to relax and our son 17 asked for help with his gaming PC. I'm the tech, so I tried to give advice. My husband got pissy and stormed off saying that his relax time was ruined. I thought he was being childish and pretty much ignored him. This evening he told me that in a previous relationship, his partner had a miscarriage and in the investigation they found he was infertile and so she had been cheating. This is news to me. Yeah, we had been together 12 years before I conceived. I have never cheated on him. I always thought the problem had been mine. He says that our son is not his and he wants a DNA test. I agreed because I never cheated on him ever. I said our marriage was over because of this. Said he knew I would react this way and I am a lying My heart is broken. Reddit. AITAH? Our advice. It sounds like you're going through an incredibly difficult and emotional situation. It's understandable that you would feel hurt and betrayed by your husband's request for a paternity test, especially given the circumstances surrounding his revelation about his previous relationship. In situations like this, it's important to communicate openly and honestly with each other. While your husband's request may have come as a shock, it's also understandable that he would want clarity and confirmation, given his past experiences. However, your reaction and decision to end the marriage are also valid. Trust is a fundamental aspect of any relationship, and if you feel that your trust has been irreparably damaged by this request, it's important to prioritize your own emotional well-being. Ultimately, whether or not you're the asshole in this situation is subjective and depends on your individual perspective and values. It might be helpful to seek support from a therapist or counselor to navigate your feelings and decide on the best course of action for yourself and your family. First comment. Your NTA. I truly don't understand the reasoning with things like this. Hell, my ex-husband and I were 17-year-old little horn dogs getting it on, and he has never once even asked for a paternity test for our kid. He was working all the time even. There was ample opportunity to be unfaithful. I never was, but the trust is there. Even through divorce, this wasn't an issue. What's craziest to me here is waiting 17 years to ask for this. What's deeper in there that's going on, he's not telling you about. Sounds like projection and trying to make everyone else miserable as he is. Hand him the DNA results with the divorce papers, as another commenter said. That is definitely your best bet. You truly deserve better than that. Second comment. Jeez. Well, when he sees the results, he's going to be even more pissy and hopefully ashamed of himself. Infertility isn't always permanent, and even guys with very low sperm counts can actually sire children. Guys who have had failed vasectomies have done this and been there where he is at. He maybe should have thought of that before he shot his mouth off. Because now he's in a big hole that he dug, and I don't blame you for being upset. I would be too. He just ended his 30-year relationship over a fear that had no basis in reality. I'm sorry he hurt you, but you're probably right to divorce him after. The trust is gone and probably he's been thinking this forever and been resentful because of it. This was abusive of him, and there's no coming back from this, unless you're practically a saint and forgive him, which honestly would be beyond me. Not only that your son was there and he's got to be going upside down emotionally over this. I'm hoping he didn't hear this. This has got to have him confused and upset if he did. Mad at his dad for saying all that. I can't imagine staying after that. I'd hand him the results and tell him it's over for sure. Story 2. I am choosing mom over sister on my wedding. My mom and sister haven't talked for 10 years. My dad was very abusive, and when we were teenagers, mom took us and fled in the middle of the night. My dad found us 3 times. When he got back, he would hurt mom. The third time it was so bad. He kept her hostage in her room for a week until grandma called the cops for a wellness check because she couldn't get hold of mom. My sister would answer grandma and say that mom was busy, and then stopped answering altogether and blocked grandma's number. Grandma called the cops. I don't remember much of this, but I know all the details because of the court case documents. It turned out that my sister was the one revealing our secret location to dad all these times. Mom lost the case anyway, because my sister testified against mom saying that she wasn't held hostage. Anyway, dad stopped bothering mom afterwards, and he moved on with another woman. My adult guess is that he broke her enough and beyond repair that time that he was finally done with her. He never spoke to any of us again. I was 10M and sister was 15F. Sister was very resentful afterwards, because she thought it was mom's fault that he left us. She started abusing mom, both verbally but mostly physically now, until mom beat her up one day very badly, and my sister was taken by CBS and mom jailed. She lived with my grandparents on dad's side because mom's side refused to take her, and even if they had better environment to raise her. Mom never wanted anything to do with my sister again. I lost touch for a few years with my sister, but then I met her when I was 15. She had changed a lot and was very nice and kind, and she works with a women. We are very close now. Mom, however, wasn't interested in any apology nor relationship with my sister even after I told her how she's changed. Mom suffers PTSD still because she was near death of starvation, dehydration, being bound to the bed for a week. I am sorry to include this, but I want to be biased and tell both sides. Now I am getting married, and my mom said that she respects that I want my sister in my wedding, but that she wouldn't attend. I honestly chose my mom. She's been my biggest support. My sister got very upset and everyone is calling me the AITAH. My sister said that I sided with her, a use of her. Our advice. Tation, it sounds like you're in an incredibly challenging situation, and my heart goes out to you. Choosing between your mother and your sister for your wedding must be an incredibly difficult decision, especially given the history of a use of an estrangement in your family. First and foremost, it's important to recognize that there are no easy answers in situations like these. You're not the AITAH for making a decision that prioritizes your relationship with your mother, who has been your biggest support throughout your life. However, it's also understandable that your sister feels hurt and upset by your decision, especially considering the history between her and your mother. One way to approach this situation could be to have an open and honest conversation with both your mother and your sister separately. Explain to your sister that your decision doesn't diminish your love for her, or your acknowledgement of her growth and change. Let her know that you understand her perspective and the pain she has experienced, but ultimately, you have to make the decision that feels right for you. With your mother, express your gratitude for her support and explain your decision to prioritize her presence at your wedding. Let her know that while you value your relationship with her, you also recognize the complexity of the situation and the pain it may cause your sister. Additionally, consider exploring other ways to include your sister in your wedding festivities, even if your mother chooses not to attend. Perhaps you could have a separate celebration with her or involve her in other aspects of the wedding planning process to show her that she is still an important part of your life. Ultimately, it's important to prioritize your own well-being and happiness while also being empathetic and understanding towards both your mother and your sister. It may not be possible to please everyone, but by communicating openly and honestly, you can hopefully navigate this difficult situation with compassion and understanding. First comment. I think your sister has been saying all the right things to get back into your life. Yet when something hasn't gone her way attending your wedding, she resorts to name-calling and presumably bitching about this to her friends, your dad's side of the family, given how you're being called an AITAH. I'd go NC. Like, what joy is she bringing to your life given how she's currently behaving? I'm absolutely disgusted that she tried to prevent your mother getting help when being held hostage by your father. She could have died. Your sister was 15, regardless of duress by your father. Basic humanity should have kicked in knowing a human being was being starved in the household. I personally couldn't forgive my sister in these circumstances. If you're getting crap from friends etc., then it depends upon how much family history you want to reveal, but I'd blast your sister. I'd state that your mom is attending and doesn't want to see your sister as she participated in nearly killing her. If they counter with the abusive that led to the imprisonment of your mother, I'd state it was self-defense by your mother due to physical violence by your sister. I'd furthermore state, given this past, you have grave concerns about her chosen profession. That will shut them up. Tell them if they continue to call you an AITAH, you'll go NC with them. You don't need their negativity in your life. It's your wedding. Invite who you want. Second comment. Day. She's still manipulating and playing the victim, refusing to take responsibility for her ABSA by blaming your mother. Your poor mum, she was tortured and her child not only helped but enabled it. She didn't give a crap if she died and still doesn't. Yet your poor mum has to watch you play happy family with someone who still sees no ring with her being tortured by someone who clearly wants to continue abusing her. She was 15, she knew what she was doing, and even if she had changed, she's proven it was all just emotional manipulation and lies to get into your life. Do you love your mum at all, as you are not acting like it? Chuck your sister in the trash and apologize profusely for bringing up all your mother's trauma and making her relive it like it was nothing. Maybe get therapy yourself, as you clearly are so desperate for love and contact you willing open the door to your mother's abuse of her. Not as bad as your sister constantly did, but still that's what you've been doing. Find your compassion and respect and empathy for your mom and look into why you would ever consider what you did was okay or acceptable to you. Find out why your wants and your abusive stranger if a sister's was more important than your mom's needs, mental health and safety. I'm glad you said your mom comes first for your wedding, but shame on you for the rest. It should never have even been an option that sister came or was in your life. This is coming from an abusive or survivor.